In the early morning hours of February 22, 2023, a devastating earthquake shook the Aegean region of Turkey. The quake, with a magnitude of 7.5 on the Richter scale, struck just after 3 a.m. local time, and was felt across the country and beyond. The epicenter of the earthquake was located near the town of Avicii, in the western province of Çanakkale, which is situated along the fault line where the Anatolian and Eurasian tectonic plates meet. The earthquake was the result of the ongoing collision between these two plates, which has led to a history of seismic activity in the region. The initial quake was followed by a series of aftershocks, some of which were almost as strong as the first tremor. The earthquake caused widespread damage, with many buildings collapsing or sustaining significant structural damage. The hardest-hit areas were the towns of Avicii, Çanakkale, and Balıkesir, as well as the cities of Izmir and Istanbul, which are both located a considerable distance from the epicenter. As the morning light broke, the full extent of the damage became clear. In many areas, entire neighborhoods were reduced to rubble, and survivors were left picking through the wreckage of their homes and businesses. Thousands of people were injured, and the death toll continued to rise throughout the day. Emergency services were quickly mobilized to respond to the disaster, but they were hampered by the extent of the damage and the large number of casualties. Rescue workers struggled to reach some of the worst affected areas, as roads and bridges had been destroyed, and communications were disrupted. The Turkish government declared a state of emergency and called for international assistance in dealing with the aftermath of the earthquake. Aid organizations from around the world responded to the call, sending teams of experts, supplies, and equipment to help with the rescue and recovery efforts. As the days passed, the focus shifted from rescue to recovery. The government established tent cities to provide temporary shelter for those who had lost their homes, and teams of engineers were dispatched to assess the damage to buildings and infrastructure. The earthquake had a significant impact on the region's economy. The town of Avicii, which was close to the epicenter, is a popular tourist destination, and many of the hotels and other tourist facilities were damaged or destroyed. The port of Izmir, which is one of Turkey's largest commercial ports, was also severely damaged, disrupting trade and causing widespread economic disruption. The earthquake also had a profound effect on the people of Turkey. The disaster brought out the best in many people, as communities came together to help each other, and volunteers worked tirelessly to assist with the relief efforts. However, it also highlighted some of the underlying social and economic issues that exist in the country, such as the inadequate housing and infrastructure in some areas. The government's response to the disaster was criticized by some, who felt that more could have been done to prepare for and respond to the earthquake. However, others praised the efforts of the emergency services and aid organizations, who worked tirelessly to help those affected by the disaster. In the months and years that followed, the focus shifted to rebuilding and recovery. The government pledged to provide funding and support to help rebuild the affected areas and improve the country's infrastructure to make it more resilient to future earthquakes. The disaster also served as a wake-up call for the Turkish people, reminding them of the importance of disaster preparedness and community resilience. In conclusion, the 2023 earthquake in Turkey was a devastating event that caused widespread damage and loss of life. It also highlighted some of the underlying issues in the country, such as inadequate infrastructure and social inequality. However, it also brought out the best in many people, as communities.